Hello, my name is. Actually, don't worry about my name. You can call me Death. And what I do, I come in and take people's lives right when they're this close to dying. And I come in. So, this is finals week, and a lot of kids will be ready to die over from all these classes and L's they'll be taking. So, this is wonderful for me.
Savage the cat with the mat. 21 Savage, now boys on the hood, but I pull up on you, shoot your ass in the back. Stuart Little hurt, you niggas some rats. Pocket full of cheese, bitch, I got racks. I'm a real street nigga, bitch. I am not one of these niggas banging on whack. Pussy nigga.
Dad, is that you? Why don't you ever making videos in my room like this? I told you I'm not dying anytime soon, okay? Why is it so dark in here? Freaking weirdo. Sorry about that. Death always comes around when he thinks that I'm gonna die. And he's been here pretty lately this semester. Especially because of this sweet class, since it's been pretty hard. But although this class is maybe ready to graduate, I had to take a step back and think about all the things that I've learned. And it turned out to be a bucket load, so I took a lot of time to evaluate myself and my strengths and my weaknesses, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. So there are several things I evaluated myself on. One being, how am I as an interviewer? And the couple of things that I looked at were my communication skills and how I am as a coder. So for communication, I'd say overall I'm pretty good. I articulate my thoughts pretty well, and I enunciate what I'm saying. And both of these things are extremely important when interviewing. The interviewer needs to understand the ideas that you're trying to portray to them and demonstrate in your problem. Another area is coding. Overall, I'm pretty good at general algorithms such as sorting, searching, and also replacing certain elements. However, some areas of improvements that I could work on is recursion for binary search trees and linked lists, such as reversing a linked list. Another area that I could work on is my memory problems. So for the file problems that we had in class, I tended to run into some issues when I was given a restricted amount of memory that I could use. So how do I prepare for these interviews? For the most part, I would say that I'd study days, if not weeks, in advance to make sure that I have a strong foundation of my algorithms and coding. And while I'm practicing, I try to practice as many different types of problems as possible because the questions that come in are close to random and you have no idea what they're going to ask you. So it's best to be familiar with different types of problems that you'll see. So another category that I evaluated myself on was how am I as a team member. As a whole, I would say that I'm a pretty active team member. I try to stay as involved and participate in the project as much as possible. I'm not afraid to take on the boring or the most difficult role if that's what needs to be done. A negative about myself, though, as a team member is I'm not too organized. I could do a better job at putting everything that I need to do in one place. That way I don't have to look around for everything. And another area I could work on is delegating tasks to my group members instead of trying to do a lot of things by myself. Getting things done is the most important part, and this comes with managing your time. So I would say that I'm pretty fair at finishing things on time in the first place. I try to break down problems as much as I can into smaller tasks and treat them as milestones. And once I knock out one, I look up and see what's next to be taken on. By working on assignments throughout the day, I usually make a lot of progress. So with time management, these skills are essential, and you need to have them to get anything done in your life. So if you don't manage your time well enough, you won't get many things done at all. You won't move up the ladder in terms of corporate or start your own business and have a full product or whatever your goal is. You need to manage your time well. Confidence is really important when it comes to finishing your task. And although confidence is important, it's important not to get it mixed up with cockiness. So the difference between cockiness and confidence is Confidence is you believing in yourself and your capability, but not necessarily trying to express that ability to your peers and other people. You're not that outward about it. Versus with arrogance and cockiness, you're constantly trying to boast and show that you're better than other people at a certain area. And sometimes there's nothing even to back that up, so you kind of look ridiculous. So it's important to remember that difference. So for me, I would say that I'm confident in my ability to take on responsibilities in a group project. So whether that's coding or web development, I'm pretty confident on that. And why? It's not because I'm the best at coding or the best at helping build a website or whatever. But if I do have a question and I do need help, I'm not afraid to ask for it. I'm not afraid to go get advice. So that's where being humble also is important. When you don't know something, you need to go ahead and ask, because it's much quicker than you trying to figure it all out by yourself. So getting help also kind of goes with the ability to give feedback and get feedback. So I would say as a whole, I'm pretty good at receiving feedback. I love it, actually. I think it's a great way to learn and to grow, because if you don't want to receive feedback and you kind of resist it, it's almost like you're lying to yourself, because whatever you're doing or whatever you're working on, if it's that good, feedback shouldn't hurt it. People will be like, "Oh yeah, that's great," or that you're on the right track, or whatever. So never be afraid of feedback, because it can only help you. And I say that I did a pretty good job at this with the interview, especially. I went to Miss Vogel when I had a question on my file problem, and she helped me understand that I should use a bit vector and that it's the most effective for the type of problem that I'm dealing with. So for giving feedback, I'd also say that I'm pretty good, particularly because I'm pretty blunt. I say exactly what's on my mind, whether people want to hear it or not. So people will come to me when they want an honest opinion, because I'll give it to them. However, this is also a weakness at times, because I'm sure I've hurt some people's feelings. But, oh well, so I am. So, lastly, I'd like to talk about just my overall reflection on the class and my experience. I say that it's important to never let things that don't matter. And this goes with your work or with people, anything. So, for people, if there are individuals around you who aren't being supportive and aren't helping you move to your next goal or to your next milestone, then leave them, forget them. They're not helping you progress in life, and there's no point of letting them weigh you down. And this same principle goes with your work. So when you're done with school, it's important to work on things that truly matter to you. Don't waste time working on assignments that you don't like, but you may need for a paycheck, things like that. Do what's important to you, because at the end of the day, this is your life, and your happiness is what matters. So this kind of goes with my next point, which is time management. So work on things that do truly matter to you, and that's what I'll be doing. Because you want to put the most time towards things that do matter to you so you can get better and constantly improve at them. You don't want to waste time working at a job or working on a task that you don't truly care about, because ultimately you're wasting your own time. So your time management is essential. And I know this is a cliche, but I'll say it anyways. It's a cliche for a reason. We only have 24 hours in the day, so what are you doing to help yourself move forward? And then lastly, knowledge. Knowledge is the most important tool that you can have. And I've learned this throughout this class, that when I don't know something, it's important to go ahead and learn it, because this may not be the most enjoyable thing to learn right now, but it'll help me learn what I need to learn in the future, or it builds on with something that I need to know. So with some of these algorithm quizzes and this project overall that included web development and app engine and all that kind of stuff, a lot of this is important, and it builds on top of each other, and we will see it again, especially in the software engineering field. So try to learn as much as you can, because you never know when you can use the knowledge that you attain from it. So overall, I would say that this Swe class was phenomenal. It was challenging, rigorous, but I learned a lot. I also learned how to work with a group, even though it was pretty hectic and stressful at times. Ultimately, it allowed growth for all of us, I think. So, thank you.